you know, even after I go through this plot with a fine-tooth comb, talk about all the characters I want to talk about, all the themes, all the messaging, all the opinions that I have about this comic, even if you watch all of that, I still think it's worth your while reading it, because you cannot really grasp this comic and its depth without reading Garth Ennis's dialogue. Now, this storyline is pretty hard to summarise because it is very world-building heavy. But despite the fact that I will be returning to it in another section, I don't feel I can fully skip over it plot-wise, so I'll tell you no lie, GI, issues 19 through 22. Billy sends Huey to meet with the legend, who begins to reveal the origins of the boys and their adversaries. Now, it's very important to remember that everybody has an angle in this comic, so what Billy wants Huey to hear is not necessarily the whole truth, and what the legend wants to impart onto Huey is also not the same as what Billy wants Huey to hear. This includes insights into the creation of Compound V and the involvement of Vought American. So as the legend continues his account detailing how Vought American developed superheroes to serve their corporate interests, he explains that Jonah Vogelbaum, a scientist who fled Nazi Germany, was instrumental in creating Compound V. This is another thing that I maintain the show screwed up badly. And how do you screw up Nazis? And also, how do you screw up evil American megacorporation by blaming it on the Nazis? Yeah, you didn't notice that, did you? You didn't notice that, we are so into holding corporate America responsible and portraying it in all its evilness, but what we decided to do was not say that this is a homegrown American company, which is very much what it was in the comics, but instead say, no, it was the Nazis that created the company.
Frederick Vought.
He gave me the first successful V injection. The other races are grinding us down and taking what is rightfully ours, but we can fight back. Because that is Vaught's true destiny.
Master?
Hold on, I need to tweet about this.
Sir Integra, is something the matter?
It's the fucking
Nazis!
And there's also this little scene where Homelander is trying to suss Billy out and figure out why Billy hates him so much. He assumes he's done something to him, but he doesn't really know what it is. And this is just a reminder to the audience that tensions are rising, and also, of course, a chance to poke fun at superheroes because it's a Garth Ennis comic. The legend also recounts the involvement of the Seven in this universe's 9/11. The Homelander and his team attempt to intervene in a hijacked plane situation, but due to their lack of proper training, it leads to catastrophic results, including the deaths of many passengers and the destruction of the plane itself. Again, something that I think Ennis was the first to bring up. Just say, ordinary people gained powers like this. How would they even fucking use them? And also, when it comes to how they did this in the show, I get what they were going for, but I will be going into how I think that actually causes more problems for them down the line, in the sense of the accidental veneration of characters that the writers do not want to venerate. And also, I do know that I'm kind of alone in this, but I really do not get a lot of people's need to like characters. You get me? Like, I do understand it, because whether or not you like the characters, I can understand, impacts the enjoyability of a product for some people, for a lot of people actually. But that is something that I hear people, again, saying is what makes the show better, is that I like the characters better. Again, good for you. It increases your enjoyability. But how does it increase the quality And my argument is that it actually negatively affects the quality. But again, it's plot. And the tragedy is covered up, and the blame is shifted to US President Dakota Bob, who allegedly ordered the plane to be shot down under Vought America's influence. The government and the corporations in this comic are like an Ouroboros. They're two snakes eating each other's tails. Not one bigger snake eating a poor defenseless other, still slightly venomous but ultimately victim little snake. As the legend concludes his history lesson, Huey is left with more questions than answers, as are we. Meanwhile, A-Train also makes another inappropriate advance towards Starlight, and we get more of her standing up for herself and growing, and also again highlighting the toxic environment within the Seven. And also Homelander exhibiting more and more volatile behaviour, showing the audience that he is gradually losing his ability to control himself. This arc delves into the dark history between the government, corporations, and the superheroes that are controlled by them, shedding, again, brilliant light on the moral ambiguity of this world. Which is not the case in the show, because the show is not subversive. It does not make any active commentary on the world. It, at best, Leonardo DiCaprio finger points at things that happen, mostly internet-based things, and also in terms of anything regarding corporate America, politics, anything like that, it is insanely pro-status quo. And before we check out of this storyline, I just want to hone in on one specific line of the Legends. And I know, despite the fact that I will be returning to this when I want to make broader points, I really want to give you a little preview in regards to what I'm talking about here. All the senators and reps whose campaigns they backed, all their own people they got appointed to committees. There's nothing new about it, nothing unique about it. Grumman and General Motors and Colt do this to this day. Most important of all, I'll say it again, there ain't nothing secret about it. Go outside into the street and shout, war, economy, shout, military-industrial complex. Then find me someone who won't say, yeah, so? Turns out, Vought American ain't even that good at it. They got the business side down okay, got their hands up all the right asses, but somehow they never get the product right. Let me repeat that. Turns out, Vought ain't even that good at it. And there's my point right there. The show have made Vought into this completely mega, unstoppable, always 2 steps ahead villain, which not only forces the writers into very awkward writing corners that they are completely unable to get themselves out of in regards to the boys being these scrappy underdogs going after this mega giant, but think about the kind of villain Vought is in the show. And show me a superhero universe that does not have a villain exactly like it. This isn't a clever deconstruction or reimagining of this specific trope of villain. It just is this villain. Whereas in the comic, corporations, they are powerful. They are part of how this power structure functions. And the scary thing is, their power doesn't actually come from them really being that good at it. That is the scary truth of this comic, which I really want to go further into, but we're just going to leave it there. We Gotta Go, issues 23 through 30. This is the Gmen Arc, and I think you'll be pleased to know that I am, for this moment, skipping this storyline, because I'm going to be going into great detail about it while making another point. But I will say that once again, in addition to Huey's ingenuity being on display,
Huey on the TV show is able to display a lot more ingenuity.
as it is in every story, This is also MM's chance to shine as an investigator, because in the show the boys are really, really bad at this. And not even when it comes to the point that the show actually admits that they are bad at this.
How's it you guys are actually getting worse at your jobs?
Outside of the translucent arc and maybe some other areas in season 1, they have pretty much always been bad at this. And I think this is one of the best ones where they blend so well as a team, because everybody is doing their part, even when they're not together. And we also get more information about why MM is so loyal to Butcher, because in the show, it's still a mystery to me. The Self-Preservation Society, issues 31 through 34. Things start amping up for the boys as we're properly introduced to Stormfront, who puts the female in the hospital. We also get the first real tension within the boys as a team, as Huey is not happy with Billy and his approach to this conflict.
Before the series is over, he's standing up to Billy Butcher, which takes him about 6 years worth of comics to get to that same point.
Despite all this, we still see their loyalty towards each other as they are attacked in the hospital by a team of supes called Payback, and Billy orders that he, MM, and Huey cover Frenchie as he escapes the hospital with the still unconscious female. Not to mention how he acts when someone goes after Terror. Billy takes the rest of them out, bar Stormfront, and the boys head to Payback's base as they know the situation between this particular group of supes has escalated to a point where it's all or nothing. And we are treated to the image of a bunch of World War II ally representatives beating the shit out of a Nazi. And yes, this is the comics version of the girls get it done scene. Is it cheesy? Yes. Is it heartwarming? Also yes. Because this is once again members of a team who care about each other standing up and fighting for one of their own, made all the more wholesome by the fact that despite this being a clear World War II parody, the one they're standing up for is Japanese. The build-up in this scene is also great. Yeah, again, it's cheesy, but it's the good kind of cheese. Scrappy little Britain is hanging in there until big old America tags in, the French find their feet and the Russians bring it home, and it's bye-bye Mr. Hitler.
Do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler, if you think we're on the run?
And by the way, the name of this issue is named after the theme tune to a British sitcom called Dad's Army.
Whistle while you work, Hitler is at work. He's half army, so's his army, whistle while you...
Your name will also go on the list. What is it? Don't tell him, Pike. Pike.
I did find that a little bit funny. Meanwhile, we have Stillwell in the background with the corporate and political scheming, which is pretty much present in every story after the 5-year glorious plan. And we get a furthering of Annie's story and Ennis's comments on women in comics and celebrity. I'll be honest, and I'll get further into this when I talk about Annie's character, but I feel as though her depiction in the show was a massive downgrade from how she felt in the comic. How she stood up for herself, how every knock gave her an insecurity or a wound that she had to work on, and her doing that with the help of Huey, which really strengthened their relationship and how sweet it was. But in the show, while she faces trials and tribulations, most of them, not all, but most of them are resolved within the same episode or the beginning of the next one. I have my theories as to why that is and why she was portrayed this way, but it just makes her so much less of a character. So much less of a genuine, heartbreaking representation of women who genuinely find themselves victimized the way she was. So while this was mostly a filler story that didn't really push the overall plot forward, except for showing how tensions are escalating, I really liked this one. It was a really easy read and just didn't give me the avalanche of information that is normally present in Ennis's writing. And I'll leave off this one by saying, go read it. Just this issue. You won't really be that confused if you jump in with this one. Go read it. And then come back and tell me that Ennis doesn't understand good old-fashioned heroism.
If everything